Welcome to From Idea to Market, and I'm Patrick Bentley. I'm the founder of Launch Trail System, and we're doing a weekly interview series where we're going to highlight an entrepreneur, and we're going to also highlight some proven methods, resources, and deliver those to you so that we can boost your business. So our format is that we're going to answer 10 questions in 15 minutes, and today we have the formidable and super successful Bea Wray with us. So Bea Wray has been a speaker for 20 years, and she's spoken on things about women in business, entrepreneurship, and leadership. She's the author of What Harvard Taught Me, But My Kids Made Me Learn, and the co-founder of the Millennial Women Networking Empowerment and Mentoring. It's the co-founder of the Millennial Women Network, which empowers and mentors women in 24 countries. So she has launched several high-tech companies, and one exit afforded her 6 years off in a resort, Bridgeless Island, where she dedicated her time to raising her 3 kids. So Bea serves as a founder, mentor, consultant, and a board member to several different companies. And she's also served as the executive director of the Creative Coast. So without further ado, I present to you Bea Wray. Hey Bea, how are you doing
Hi
today?
there. I'm so great. Hey Patrick, thank you so much.
Great. So I can't see your video right now. Are you okay?
I want to make sure we get the most of the internet.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. So anyway, before we begin, where are you joining us from right now?
I'm calling in from Charleston, South Carolina.
Nice.
East Coast of the
United States. Great city. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So tell me, who's your ideal client, Bea?
Well, for selling the book is anyone I think I can help. One of the things that really helped me change my perspective, I used to love to speak, and I used to get so ignited talking mostly to women, women entrepreneurs, past the idea stage usually, but sometimes at the idea stage, but at all sorts of stages. And I loved it. And then one day I got so much great feedback from what people were learning and continuing and not giving up on because of the things I had read and spoken. And I realized even if I didn't love this, I would do it. I would do it for the people who need to hear the message, who need the encouragement, who need a laugh. We talk about a lot of funny things. And so most of the times, the kinds of people that I feel like I'm helping are business owners, often female business owners, but it's definitely not exclusively. And they run any size business. It could be $1 million to $50 million.
Okay. And so I also wanted to mention you are, and I kind of slipped over this in your bio, but that you're also a business consultant. You've also got your MBA from Harvard. So talk a little bit about that. Do you have an ideal client, or is it the same person for your business consulting as well?
Well, so I love being a business consultant, but I don't go after that at all. I just take on a handful of clients and really only usually for about 6 months because it keeps me fresh and it keeps me in the conversation and it keeps me thinking about what's important to people. But I'm not one of these people who's growing a consultancy. So I do have people who say, oh, this is what I want. I'd love to meet with you once a week. Can we do that? And I kind of keep a list. And again, the same kind of people. Some people are starting their business up. I think what I'm best at is helping people figure out how many licks does it take to get to the center? So how do I keep you afloat? How do I keep you focused? How do I help you understand that there's a sales process and we're going to navigate how many people do you need at this end of the sales process to get to that end, to get to that one, so that we can have your future be very predictable and allow you to make great financial decisions along the way. So it's a sophisticated way of looking at 5th grade math, basically.
Awesome. So let's go to question number 2, which is what is the problem that you solve?
2, one is that so often people, this is particularly women, are belittling their own expertise. And one of the things that I really like to do is help you get credit for the basically people skills are all that really matter. And it comes out, we call these soft skills. Well, comes to find out, soft skills are actually really hard.
Yeah, I hate that term. I don't like that term at all.
Yeah, they're hard to master, but they're really important. And I found that a great way to gain people skills was to try to raise some people in your own home. And so one of the things that I find oftentimes people don't do is give themselves credit for what they've learned in motivating, articulating a vision, collaborating, and negotiation. And I want people to give themselves that credit so that they can build on it, so that they can value that, so that they can attract people who also have those great skills and they can deploy those skills. So Sheryl Sandberg says we're not on a linear ladder, but we have career jungle gyms. And the thing that I'm looking to do is validate parenting as a relevant spot on that jungle gym.
Man, I think that's really important, especially for people that they take time off to raise their kids and then they try to jump back into, you know, the job market, and it can be difficult. But I mean, being a parent is a huge, huge responsibility, you know, and as you know, I'm a single or was a single parent.
Right.
So I definitely can sympathize with that, even though not a woman, but you know, I definitely get that for sure.
Right.
So that's actually a really good segue into question number 3, which is, so what are the typical symptoms that people experience that with the problem that you're trying to solve?
Well, I think one of the symptoms is they hide parenting and people skills even unintentionally from their LinkedIn profile, or they treat it like a black spot, or they don't want to talk about it in an interview. And one of the things that I'm trying to say is give language, give validation, give a narrative to how to bring that into a job interview, how to bring that into a skill set, how to tell those stories that are connective tissue, not something that to be running away from.
Awesome. So what are some of the common mistakes that people make when they're trying to solve that problem?
Quick answers. They are trying to really just not take building relationships and dealing with people takes time, and it takes listening, it takes nurturing, it takes investing in. And so often the kinds of people skills mistakes that are made is like a quick answer or a quote from some book, and that's not real.
Okay, well, that's really good advice. So what's one valuable free action that the audience can implement that'll help solve that problem?
Well, from a listening standpoint, I think a very quick thing to do is to literally look at a clock, or imagine you're looking at a clock. Assume you're talking to a prospect, for example, and I have a whole section on this where I talk it as listen longer, and just be really clear that if you set aside 50 minutes to communicate with someone, you're speaking 15 of those. And build your skill set in doing that. Build your skill set in asking those open-minded questions. And then the other thing is, a part of that is to recognize that the 40 some odd minutes that the person you're speaking with talks, oftentimes 35 of it is irrelevant to what you're talking about. So much of it is about relationship building, but the nuggets, the kind of key decision-making things that will impact later, whether you work together, whether they buy from you, what have you, is 1 or 2 or 3 minutes. But you need that 40 minutes to get them comfortable to saying that 1 minute. And so if I were teaching listening skills, one of the things I say is it's okay to look at a clock, not, oh, hurry up, Patrick, I don't want to talk to you anymore, but how do I slow this down to make sure I hear what you're looking for, and just give myself sort of credit for being in that space, being in that listening space is the thing that's going to allow the great nuggets to come out. And you're not a parent yet of a teenager, but you will thank me later.
I'm getting close.
Yeah, you're going to thank me in a couple years when and what you're going to say is, you know, teenagers, it's all about creating space for them to talk. And so you only get those nuggets about what really happened at school or what kind of peer pressure they're under when you've created enough space. And the same is true. Someone doesn't tell you, well, my budget for this item is $5,000 on a sales call until they've built up time with you. That's not the first thing they're going to tell you.
Man, that's actually a really awesome advice. I can't wait to read the book, honestly.
Thank you.
All right. So next question is, so what's one valuable free resource that the audience can find or use to solve this problem?
Wow. For this problem in particular, I don't know that I know that, but well, one thing you could do is tape record your phone calls and make sure, kind of check back. I use freeconferencecall.com. And this part's not free. I actually often transcribe calls if I tape record it, which I would get your permission to do if I do so, but most people love it. It's an investment in their time. And then I upload them. It's not free, but if I'm on a 30-minute phone call for $3, I can get it transcribed. So it's practically free. And I just upload that call to Temi, TEMI.com. And it actually will say, speaker number 1, these 2 minutes, speaker number 2, those 3 minutes, speaker number 3. And so that's good in 2 ways. One, because you're not busy writing down notes. You literally are just listening because someone else is taking the notes for you. So it really enhances your listening skills, but it also catches you if you were the one who talked too much.
Yeah. So what about your book? Are you planning to charge for that? Is there like a price point for that, or is it going to be like a free ebook, or how are you planning?
No, it's about 200-page, 40,000-word book. It's got 15 chapters. It's the ideal book to pick up at the airport and fly away with. It'll be out on July 10th. I do have a website, what Harvard taught me about my kids made me learn.com, where people can get on it, an email list and get some updates as the book is launching. But it looks like the price point is going to be right around $20.
Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely doable. I mean, just from this interview, I can tell it's going to be valuable for sure.
I'm charging you double.
All right. Well, I'll pay it. So the last question is, what should I have asked you, but I didn't?
Wow,
of course, such a great question. What's the answer?
What is the answer? That you really stumped me on that one, Patrick. But which is my favorite child? You should have asked me, and I don't have an answer for it. I'll tell you my answer. My answer for that is an answer I stole from my mother, and she told me her favorite child was the one she was with at the moment.
Spoken like a true mother.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Bea. I appreciate your time. And we'll make sure to, pub your book. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much.